Hi, you guys. I have a new to me, Christmas book to read you. I just discovered this book at the library and we read it tonight and we all just fell in love with it. So I just had to record it for everyone. It's called Prairie Christmas and it's by Elizabeth Van Steenwyk, illustrated by Ronald Himmler. A knock on the door wakes me in the night. I listen as Mama opens it. "I'm John Cooper, a neighbor of the Vandermeers," a man says. "They say to hurry because their baby is coming." It's too soon. I hear the worry in Mama's voice as she closes the door. Mama always goes when someone comes to tell her that she's needed, and I always go with her because she won't let me stay home alone. Mama's a doctor, and she says it's about time women got to be doctors. After all, it's 1880. But why does she have to be a doctor tonight? Christmas Day has just begun, and the two of us had our own plans. Now Mama will be working, and I'll be waiting, just as though it's any other day. She goes to the barn and hitches old Dan to the buggy. I follow and feel crisp, bright air on my cheeks. Gran knit a woolly scarf for me when I was a baby, and tonight I wrap it closer to my chin. It used to be miles too long, but little by little, I'm growing into it, now that I'm almost 11. Mama tucks our Texas star quilt around us, then old Dan takes us off on the dirt road that heads north through Nebraska. The jingle of bells on his bridle announces that we're coming, and a bright star shows the way. "Come on, old Dan," Mama says. "We can't be slowpokes tonight." 1 hour later, we pull into the barnyard. Mr. Vandermeer opens the front door even before old Dan's bells have stopped jingling. "Hurry," he says. The Vandermeers' house and barn are built under one roof. The animals live on one side and the family on the other. The animals can look right into the great room through the half-open doors. Mr. Vandermeer and Mama rush into the house. I unhitch old Dan and give him a measure of oats in his nosebag before following them. A lamp brightens one corner of the great room, and a mantel clock strikes 2 as we step inside. A small, undecorated fir tree stands nearby. Christmas was interrupted here, too. Logs sputter in the fireplace, throwing off a warm glow. I am drawn to it, while Mama wraps herself in a white apron. "She's asking for you," Mr. Vandermeer says. Mama nods and follows him into another room to tend to his wife. Now comes the waiting part, but I'll never get used to it. In the rocking chair beside the fire, I wrap my thick scarf around me and doze until the clock strikes again. I waken and realize that I am being watched. 2 little faces peer at me from the sleeping cupboard in the wall. In their nightclothes, they look like frightened angels. "Is our new baby here yet?" the little boy asks. He comes to stand close to me. "No," I say. "It might take a while." Most of my Christmas, I add to myself. His sister is tall, and her braids are long. "What's your name?" she asks. "Emma. What's yours?" "Hancy," she answers. "My brother is Will." A low groan from their mother comes from the bedroom. Hancy and Will look alarmed and step closer to each other. "Don't be afraid," I tell them. They're not having much of a Christmas either. Will helps himself to an apple from a wooden bowl on the table, and old Dan begins to shake his head. "Old Dan likes apples too," I say, and take one to him. While his giant jaws crunch the apple, I stroke his long silver mane. He's always liked that. Then I get an idea. "What are you doing?" Hancy asks. "Watch." I comb my hands through old Dan's mane and loosen strands of hair. Then I gather a handful and give some to Hancy and some to Will. "What shall we do now?" he asks. I go to the tree and begin to hang the silver threads on its branches, and they do the same. Mr. Vandermeer bursts in from the bedroom. His hair stands up like dry straw, and his shirt collar is wrinkled. A towel! I am to get a towel! He looks at us as if we're strangers. I find one near the wash basin. He takes it and rushes back to the bedroom. Unanswered questions, mine, Hansie's, and Will's, hover around me. Will puts his hand in mine and looks at me. I want my mama, he begins. So do I think. But I am older, so I do not say that aloud. I can spare a hug, though. It's good for him and for me as well. I'm hungry, Hansie announces. Ma didn't feel like making supper last night. She glances at the bedroom door, anxious and uncertain. Let's make breakfast, I say. Their faces brighten. You? Will asks. Me, I say. When my mom is tired, I cook. I go to the cupboard and find some rice and cinnamon and sugar and salt and raisins, too. Porridge, Hansie cries. Christmas porridge, I correct her. She helps me coax a fire in the stove, and soon the rice is bubbling in the pan, and the scent of cinnamon floats everywhere. We hear more alarming sounds from the bedroom. Why don't we sing? I ask quickly. Do you know Silent Night? They try to follow along, but they don't seem to know the words. We grow restless in our waiting. The clock sounds another hour. Hansie finds bits of bright yarn to tie on the tree. Will adds his papa's shiny cigar wrappers. I find a few red berries in a bowl and tuck them here and there on the branches. A knock at the door interrupts us, and I go to open it. Mr. Cooper stands there, fingers of dawn streaking in the sky behind him. The light from the lamp has been glowing all night. We've been worried, he says. He holds a large plate of cookies and steps inside, followed by two other neighbors. One man carries a small goat. The other holds 2 lambs. The baby's not here yet, I tell them. Not yet? Mr. Cooper questions. But it's been so long. We look at one another. How much longer will we wait? I pass the cookies and we eat in silence. Will reaches for another. The neighbors pull out chairs at the table and sit, and I resume my place in the rocking chair and Hansie crowds in beside me. Will plops on my lap. The chair creaks in rhythm with the clock. I'm glad you're here, Emma, Hansie whispers. I didn't think we were going to have Christmas until you came. And then we hear it, a baby's soft cry. He's here, Will shouts. He's here. All of us, the children, the visitors, and I leap up together and rejoice in laughter and tears and hugs. Will drops the cookie plate, but no one minds. Soon the bedroom door opens and Mama comes out. She looks tired, and I remind myself to do the dishes all by myself tonight. She speaks to Hansie and Will. Your pa is bringing the baby, and your ma in here where it's warmer. She saves a special smile for me. They come. Mrs. Vandermeer walking slowly and carefully. She sits in the rocking chair and takes the baby from her husband. The blanket that wraps the newborn is threadbare from the other 2 babies. Old Dan hears the commotion and looks on from the half-open doors. A cow and a donkey join him. Mr. Cooper and the men step forward to offer their gifts to the baby, a goat for milk and lambs for wool. It is a night for gifts. Hansie and Will give apples, and I hand my long scarf to Mrs. Vandermeer. She wraps it around and around her newborn. The baby will grow into it, its miles of warmth, as I did, and one day outgrow it, as I have done tonight. Later, after everyone has eaten Christmas porridge, Mama and I hitch old Dan to the buggy and drive home in a scattering of soft and silent snow. I'll always remember this Christmas, I say. Always.